Will Grant Horvat be getting a sponsor's invite to a PGA Tour event? That's what we're here to talk about today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This feels like a little old school video, honestly. It's like a creator news video, but it's like, talking. We got a post that came out and we're reacting to a podcast. You guys are OGs of the channel. This is like how we started this whole thing. So let's flip over to the screen. I'm going to get right into it for you. Grant Horvat has been on an absolute tear recently. This video just came out the other day. I am one hole left in it, so don't ruin it for me. Don't spoil it for me. But this video is about, 2 days old. It's about 2 hours, hour and a half long. And to me, it's just a clash of titans. It's just an absolute bringing together of one of the most sought after players on the PGA Tour from a, young person's hype, awareness. I almost want to say just like coolness perspective. Like if you had to pick, a top 5 just like cool, relevant PGA Tour players, especially in a demo of, under 40 years old, not the age of the player, but the age of the viewer, Justin Thomas would be the guy. And that's really like a huge part of YouTube golf. So Grant getting him on the channel is just, it's so exciting. And the match was so good. This photo is also golden. That video right now, 867,000 views in one day. It just, this is kind of going to be a point that gets touched back on by me in a second. It's just setting Grant to a different level. It's setting him apart. He's on obviously a crazy run. He just won the Creator Classic, which is absolutely incredible. But it's kind of just setting him apart even more. He already has been at this point, but it's setting him apart even more as just this like premier gold stamp creator. Like if anybody from any walk of life wants to come on to YouTube Golf and they are like of that upper, like, Justin Thomas is an A-list golfer. If you have an A-list athlete or even an A-list celebrity, Grant is now going to be the guy. He is like clean. He is brand friendly. He's just got a look to him. He plays well. He swings well. He's just got it all. And that's just me glazing all over him. But what I will say, the next clip has got me thinking a whole different avenue for Grant, and I want to discuss it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. It's from this Scratch Golf. They posted a clip, Danny Rappaport interviewing Grant, and the question was posed, would Grant accept a PGA Tour sponsor's invite? So let's watch this together, and then I'm going to react to it with you guys.
Luke Kwan, he's gotten invites into tournaments that he's played. If a PGA Tour event called you up and said, hey, we want to give you a sponsor's invite, what would your reaction be?
I've thought about that. I don't know right now.
But you know what?
I don't know.
I like that you answered that because that's a phrase that you don't hear enough of these days. I don't know the answer yet.
Yeah, I have to look within myself, and I have to really see if I want to put myself back in one of those situations. But no, I don't know. Like I said, that's the answer I have. I truly don't know what I would do. I think right now I just love doing YouTube videos, and the Creator Classic, happened, and that was awesome. I never expected to win it, but it definitely showed me a little something. I will say, kind of fired me up a little bit after, I made that putt to win it, and that felt really good versus kind of lagging that putt up there and kind of tapping it in for par and Sully misses. It's like I made that putt, and that just fired me up a little bit, but I don't know. There's a big difference between me and pros. Huge difference. And I think people need to realize that, because there's a lot of people that do realize that, but then there's a lot that, think that I could be out there. And the reality is there's a huge gap between me and the tour pros. It's giant.
I feel like the next
that
step
is just a beautiful clip by Grant. I think he was very eloquent in the way he portrayed it, where it's like, in his position, as a very, very good plus handicap golfer who can go out on an extremely tough course, TPC Sawgrass, and I think he across 8 holes shot one over, maybe even if you count that 9th hole, the repeat of 17 with that birdie. He's an unbelievably talented golfer, but despite to the rest of us how it looks like he could go out and compete with the best in the world, he realizes that there is a bit of a gap. And I'm not the guy to talk to you about that gap because I'm not that elite level of a golfer, but a lot of people who have played top end golf know. I have so many buddies, and this is probably something you guys can relate to, who've played on mini tours for years, who can go out any given day with me on a public course and shoot 62, 63, but they didn't even sniff an opportunity to play on the Corn Ferry Tour. Being able to do it on the harder courses, in the harder conditions, under the pressure of the tour, there's just so many different things. And being able to do it consistently, have your bad days still be, a 73 versus an 80, XYZ. The comments on this, I think, basically just play to the fact that Grant handled this well. As cool as it sounds for any golfer, he respects the game and the pros. If he ever got an invite, he would know it's for viewership purposes only, and I think that doesn't sit well with him. He has YouTube for that. And I think that's just a great, sum up of this is, would Grant ever actually do this and accept this? I don't know. I think if it was, a random, same week as a signature event, and it's kind of, less televised, lower, whatever. I mean, the tough thing you'd have to deal with in someone like Grant's position is, you would still technically be taking a spot away from someone else. And the people who usually get these sponsors invites for the most part are people who are grinding on the Corn Ferry, grinding on mini tours, investing everything they have. They don't have a following. They aren't making money. And they have played their way into earning this spot. Whereas if Grant got it, again, it's no offense to Grant, but he wouldn't have done any of that. He just has a following. He's a great golfer, but he just has a following, and that's why he'd be getting it. You can't make that same argument with George Bryan, because George Bryan has come very close to earning it. I think if George Bryan really wanted to dedicate his life to playing on the Corn Ferry Tour, he could probably be playing on the Corn Ferry Tour right now. Yeah, he's gone to Q school and hasn't quite made it, but he's also been focusing on being a YouTuber. George is, I don't think anyone thinks George doesn't deserve an invite. Grant, from just a golf perspective, hasn't done anything to deserve an invite. So that's the part where I think he would battle with it, where it's he knows it would just be for the eyeballs, the awareness, and the views. And I don't know if that's something that he would want to go out there and do. But on the flip side, it's cool. It's a cool opportunity. I don't think you could ever fault the guy for taking an opportunity that was handed. Oh, okay. Viewer error, loading error. We'll just go back to here. Anyway, I don't think you could ever fault someone for taking an opportunity that was given to them because of the position they're in. So I wouldn't also be upset if he got invited and he took it. I just think, he might face more annoying backlash from some people than maybe it would be worth it for him. Because that's the other thing. If he goes and plays in some off PGA Tour event, I don't even know if that video would be a 1 to 10 for him. Grant playing in a PGA Tour event, I don't know if that's going to outperform Grant and Phil playing, I don't know, certainly not Tiger and Charlie, but even a lesser version of that. If they played Justin and Jordan, I don't think Grant playing a PGA Tour event outperforms some of his current YouTube videos. So he's not going to get a lot from that. He's not going to get more awareness from it. He is the most aware, one of the most aware people in golf. People know who he is. So I just don't know if I also see a ton of upside for Grant in taking this on. So anyways, guys, that's my reaction to it. I'm going to keep it quick. I want to hear your thoughts on it in the comments below. I mean, I think for the PGA Tour side, there's a ton of upside. If they invited him, they would probably get a lot more eyeballs on a smaller event. Maybe less people are going to it. It could be really good for that small event. But yeah, is it there for Grant? Is it worth it? I don't know. It doesn't really feel like there's a ton of incentive for Grant other than just a cool opportunity. But I also think Grant would probably rather, if he really wanted to do that, to go and try to go to Q school and try and get into Corn Ferry and try to kind of play his way in versus just be handed it in this sense. That's just my thoughts. Comment yours down below. Thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.